Okay, let's make sure this is okay. Says we're live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we are. We're live. We're live. Okay. So now we just have to wait for the next couple of seconds for everyone to join. So sorry, everyone. We're just going to wait the full 2 minutes to when we start at 10. I've got a list of questions that everyone has sent me. Feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we can just start getting back to them as soon as possible. But we're going to go through the list of questions. I've got like probably 10, ranging from the API to the partnership with IBM. And then a bunch of the Japanese community was asking about the technicalities of the MobileGo token and whether or not it uses the Ethereum platform and how the funds will be used and stuff like that. But yeah, by all means, just tell us everything that you have questions on, and we'll try and answer them as good as we can. So I guess we'll start, Alex. Alex, I guess you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Okay, it's like my first public appearance for the GameCredits, at least. So, my name is Alex. I'm in charge of operations in GameCredits, which includes like a lot of things about the organizational part, about the development part. Basically, I'm like into tech, but on the part of business. So I'm trying to make sure that all business requests are processed in a way that they will be done in the correct way from a technical perspective, and the technical side can also forward its requests to the business and so on. So I'm trying to mingle with all this stuff at the same time. So far, so good, I believe.
So far, so good.
In general, I'm originating from the gaming industry, from Deathcraft, which partnered with GameCredits like half a year ago. There I was also for the last few years in the position of COO, but in general, I'm working in IT like for 11 years, something like that. Most of it, of course, in gaming industry, but related to many areas.
Absolutely.
Combination of knowledge areas, of experience areas, whatever. So.
All right, perfect. So everyone, Alex is actually in our Serbia office, our Belgrade office. As you can see, he's got the GameCredits poster behind him, which I think is super cool. I wish I had one. And I think we'll just get right to it, and we'll start answering from the first person to send us questions down to the bottom. And then anyone who puts questions in the chat as we start talking, just let us know. I don't know how much time Alex has to spend on this, but we'll be here for as long as we can.
Okay.
So the first question we have, Alex, is regarding API testing. So the user wanted to know how many people had actually been tested for the API, how that was going, and where you see the API, the GameCredits API in the future.
Okay, that basically will make me to start with like long story. The platform itself that we are using in GameCredits right now for processing payments is something we've been working on for about 2 years as well. Our main focus was exactly to deliver a payment solution that will be like robust and secure, but at the same time we'll be able to process like huge volume of requests, of transactions, basically. That's why we've been building it on big data, specifically Hadoop and H-based stack, because I mean that's one of the issues we've been facing ourselves all the time while I've been specifically working on games. because we had to integrate a lot of payment processors, a lot of partnership solutions, and all of them had these or other issues, So we've been trying to develop something that will be much more easy to use, much more stable, and we'll be able to support much more requests, let's say, per second. Our latest tests regarding this matter were done, like, let's say, in not the best way, to be perfectly honest. Because in order to completely test it, to be totally fair in the number that you can get, you need to recreate the entire testing environment, which means we need to simultaneously test the API from multiple machines from around the world. We didn't have a chance to do it yet because it means that we need to buy 30, 40 servers around the world that will be simultaneously calling our platform and so on. So we made some tests that were specifically from one machine. So the results are actually lower than they would be in high-level production environment. But our current result that we can process around 70,000 transactions per second, which means that we can go up from that as well. We can go up to 300,000 right away. The thing is that after that we will get the response time above 100 milliseconds, which we don't see as a good thing. So that's a question. That's the answer. I mean, in general, we are pretty satisfied with the performance by now. We will be constantly improving it, of course, and we'll be running more tests in a correct environment again. And we'll see where it gets us. We'll be posting updates as soon as we get new results, for sure.
Okay, perfect. I just want to, so Alex, the other Alex, went and asked to see if you could just change up your mic. I'm not sure if anyone else is having problems with it, but he said it just kind of can be a little bit difficult to hear you. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, because I'm using not my, here is it is it better? It's actually not my equipment. I'm using our designer's machine right now because he has a little bit of a better setup for such kind of things. So.
All right. Well, we'll jump into the next question, which is about IBM. So,
yeah.
One of the questions was who approached who during the partnership. Did you guys approach IBM, or did IBM approach GameCredits?
Of course we did, because look, this is a corporate world, right? They don't have that much of their own time to be able to focus on any new things coming up here and there. So you need to be proactive with that. That's what happens with us with Microsoft, that would happen with IBM and so on. With any big companies, we have to be the ones initiating the entire conversation. But actually, it's quite simple. Once we manage to open the door, then they're becoming extremely interested, because we are working on something that even for them is a cutting-edge technology. Actually, it's one of the next questions. IBM familiar with blockchain technology? Well, guys, they are. IBM is actually one of the leading companies right now working on the blockchain. The thing is that they are working on a little bit of a specific way of blockchain implementation, which is called Hyperledger. Hyperledger is actually a huge thing. One of the, let's say, 4 major blockchain projects out there, which, let's say, are Bitcoin, Ethereum, then it comes to Hyperledger, and then Corda, which is R3 powered. But in general, yes, IBM is one of the leading companies in these areas, and actually last year, as far as I remember, like a year ago, their CEO was on the Congress hearing. Is it right? Right. Anyway, he was in US Congress, and he was answering some of the questions, and basically he said that for IBM, blockchain is the priority number 1 for the next years. And because there is a lot of power, it's a very promising technology. It can do a lot of good, not only for crypto community, but also for the general purposes and different specific areas. Like IBM, right now, their Hyperledger is mostly focused on IoT, but it's not limited to it. So that's why we got in touch with them, and we are discussing right now this partnership from the different angles and seeing what can we both do in this direction.
Absolutely, yeah. I actually know one of the very senior guys in the research department of IBM. His name's Arvind Krishna, close family friend of mine. And I started talking to him about blockchain probably a couple months ago, just because I was really interested. And he's been running the whole research department of IBM, and he says that one of the big focuses that they're going for is blockchain technology being brought to the Internet of Things, using AI and Watson and all of the other things they've been developing. So what you're saying, to my knowledge, is 100% true, just from the personal experience I've had talking to people in IBM.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the next question that we've got, which aspect, sorry, poorly worded question, but how is IBM going to help the GameCredits platform? What do they bring to the table?
Well, in the first place, blockchain itself is going through the transition right now, okay? Because it was like a geek technology a little bit. It was a little bit focused on the crypto community, and crypto community was focused on it. So, IBM is chasing its own goals in this area. But when it comes to the development itself, like hands-on development, there are certain issues that we face like altogether. For example, let's start with the lack of developers. Okay, that's something we really have issues with. Not only us, but any company working in this area. And basically, what we are trying to do, along other things that we are working on together with IBM, like software solution, and they're consulting us in some aspects, and like we have combined a little bit of a team connection between us, and we are advising them on something because we have experience from different perspectives. Of course, they have their super powerful research centers and so on. So basically, we are researching together, and we are trying to actually promote the blockchain as a technology altogether. Because like one of the examples is that in March, IBM will bring here their main person in Europe for the blockchain. They call her blockchain champion. And basically, we organized together a series of lectures and events here in Belgrade in order to promote blockchain, to explain people a little bit more what the blockchain is and how it can be used from the different areas. Because there are a lot of things, like there is a misunderstanding in general development community. Because I've heard about blockchain, but it's something like it exists, but how, nobody actually knows. That's one thing. Nobody knows that it's quite exciting to work on it. There is
absolutely.
Yeah, there is let's say the general academical community, which has a very different point of view on blockchain. Because let's be honest about it, blockchain as technology is affected a lot by the reputation of Bitcoin. Bitcoin never had a good reputation by now. Let's say there are some people that know it's just digital currency, it's a digital asset, whatever, depends how you treat it. But it's like, okay, regular money can also be used for different purposes, and so can be blockchain, so can be Bitcoin. But general academical approach is a little bit different. They only see the dark side of it so far. We're trying to change this a little bit. So we'll be organizing lectures in local universities, probably two of them at least, in order to introduce blockchain and cryptocurrencies from a correct perspective to the technical community and to the economical community and to the general audience. For example, we are also working here with starting to work here with the Internet Governance Organization, which is like the guys who are trying actually to create some better understanding of things going on the internet and present it to actual governments. That's how they help them find the correct regulation for this or other aspect of internet and stuff going on the internet. And actually, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, blockchain is one of them. So we're trying to put it all together. IBM is helping us a lot on that, but basically, when it comes to this particular area, Balkans, let's say for a moment, like Serbia, we're pushing it forward, and IBM is just saying, okay, well, let us know what you need, what we can do together with you. Let's push it, of course, because it's one of their primary focuses. Right? And for us, it's very important exactly to increase the amount of knowledge people have about all these aspects, because why I personally like blockchain and why I personally like working on what we are working on is because, just like games, this entire story combines a lot of areas. Like, for example, there is a huge technological aspect of the entire thing, but there is a huge economical aspect, like cryptocurrencies and all these things. And that means that basically people who are originating from the tech part have to educate themselves about the economics in general, which is great because otherwise, developers are never into this part at all.
Mhm.
Also, there is a huge community part because there is cryptocurrencies where, again, community is actually the one who makes the decision. That's how decentralization in this particular case works. So that's what makes it really fascinating for me because we have to deal with all these aspects, all of them together, and trying to make it better from every perspective.
Mhm. I 100% agree. I mean, that's what really brought me to the blockchain. I thought when I first heard about this, there's so many problems already in the gaming industry. I was setting up servers back in the day, like a couple years ago, and some of them started to get really popular. My game servers really blowing up. And my biggest problem in the platform that I was using was that I might get, say, like $10,000, and $3,000 of that could be charged back easily. People would charge back, and then I would have to spend so much time fighting. And in the end of the day, all of my makes so much sense, and it just is realistic from a gamer side, a developer side, and then from an industry standpoint, because you can create this whole economic ecosystem in the gaming world with blockchain. So I'm on board with you, Alex. I 100% agree.
Nice, thanks.
So I think the next question is, I'm not sure if you can answer this, but I'll ask it anyway. How does IBM see the future of game credits? And if you could just possibly talk a little bit slower.
Sure. Um, I mean, again, IBM is a corporation. Okay, we have to face it and we have just to deal with it. So it's not like they see our future. They mostly see, I believe, at least, common future, where we will bring into the table some of our experience. They will bring some of their experience. We will try to build some common efforts towards, I don't know, popularization of the blockchain or development of certain things, or whatever it can be, because again, for them it's one of the major focuses for the next year. At least for us, it's like the thing we are working on anyway. So I don't think they're creating any plans about us, but we are working together. That's what's important. We are not looking into like 1 year perspective together with, okay, where we will be in 2 years. I don't know. We are trying to deal with things right here and right now, because it's also one of the things about blockchain. The technology is so new that even when we invite new developers and onboard them, we have to basically warn them, okay, guys, there are a lot of projects out there. We are one of them. But if you want to educate yourself about the blockchain, basically you have to go like with Wikipedia and a bunch of white papers. That's it.
Mhm.
There are no books on blockchain that you can use to actually be able to, take the existing example and that's it. And the diversity of this field is so huge as well that you don't know where to look for the correct answer sometimes. So that's how it goes. That's why even with IBM, we are not building like long-term plans. We have to deal with the things that are right here.
Perfect. So only one other thing from the stream that they're asking. I know it's not your microphone setup, so you're not familiar with it. But is there a microphone you could try holding closer to your mouth?
I don't know. There is some microphone here. I believe there is like a button. Yeah, this is the one I believe. I don't know if it's better. Is it better? Is it better?
There's less echo, in my opinion. I think if you talk closer, there's less echo as well. So, try and get close to the screen. I don't know if there's echo on my end too. But anyway, moving on to the next question. We'll be close to the screen. We'll try and work with the echo issue. So the next question was, is it a long-term deal or more like a trial? You somewhat answered that, but I think just to reiterate, it's not a trial. It's a sincere partnership, but
it's definitely not a trial because, because reasons. Okay, I mean, we do see it as a long-term partnership for sure.
Yeah.
The fact that we don't know our goals for like where we will be next 2 years doesn't mean that we don't see it as a long-term, but basically because we have to, go with the flow. That's it. But again, even right now, there are a few companies here in Serbia that are working on blockchain, but not so many, man, not so many.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so next question. The next question is IBM familiar with blockchain technology? Also something we covered, but the next question is, what are the difficulties GameCredits will have to face in the near future? I think that's a pretty good question.
Yeah, for sure. It depends because again, I see this as like multi-factor thing. Since we will probably face some issues regarding the technological aspect in the first place, because again, like I said, the technology itself is not so mature and it's trying to find its best way still in the implementation level and even in design level, because there are, I mean, all of these 4 projects, like the major ones, let's say, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Corda and Hyperledger, they all see differently. They all have a totally different approach. And
you cut out for a second. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, all the projects have a different approach. There are a lot of projects that have a very different vision of the blockchain as technology in general. And basically, we have to invent our own ways sometime. Because, look, when it comes to even like the small things in the blockchain world, especially in the cryptocurrencies world, we have to like invent our own things all over again. Like, I don't know, Block Explorer. All of a sudden, it's like one of the simplest things that's like everybody needs. But when you try and like go and try to find, let's say, good open source project related to the Block Explorer, you fail basically. Because there are some are like outdated, some are not that good and so on. So right now we're, for example, working on our own Block Explorer to make it fast, to make it reliable, to make it stable. And basically after we will be finished, maybe like next week, we will open source it, because we believe that there should be solutions that like, they're common, everybody needs them there. There's no, I mean, somehow that's how this industry works. Once you have something on a very small scale, you still can go out and charge people for using this very, very tiny solution. Why? I don't know. So we'll be outsourcing, open sourcing a lot of things that we are working on here right now, which are like our own tool sets, basically for working with the blockchain itself, with wallets, with ledger and stuff like that. So that's like the technological side of the problem. We'll be most probably facing some, legal issues. I mean, not legal like because they're criminals, but because that's one of the reasons we are working, for example, with this internet governance organization right now, because we have to bring in the common understanding of the cryptocurrencies and digital currencies in general. Because until, we are okay with being regulated, we are okay with any type of regulation, but there should be something. Like the most terrible situation is when government or like officials in any form don't understand what you're doing and just don't recognize it. Yeah. In this case, you cannot work. If you are regulated, you can work. You just, you have your steps to do this or that. But if there are none, then what do you follow? That's one of the things, and we are also trying to work on that, because like that's a crucial part for us. And I mean, there are a lot of other aspects related to, I don't know, ever-changing landscape of the crypto market in general, crypto industry, and so on. So we'll see where it gets us. I mean, there will be a lot of challenges for sure, but that's also what I love about it, because if it's not a challenge, then why do it?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you know, it's funny you say the part about regulation. You know, people in cryptocurrency fear regulation. Understandably, you know, they're kind of a bunch of anarchists in a lot of ways. But you know, it's kind of like this the cybersecurity industry. The cybersecurity private sector and the government sector came together to create this set of regulations and guidelines that everyone in the industry should follow. And I think eventually that is going to be the future of cryptocurrency. So you're right.
Yeah, exactly. It's already growing that huge that, you know, like, let it go this way for 1 or 2 years, and you know they will have to notice it. They're already noticing it. Like Japan regulated their cryptocurrency, you know, they now have their way to treat it. Like in Denmark, there is a way to treat it, and so on. But like many governments, many countries are still trying to find their way out of that. You cannot avoid it. You can be as decentralized as you wish, but the government will be always there for you. The thing is, I believe, would be much better if we actually help people recognize cryptocurrencies, help them understand what it is and how it can be treated in a good way for both sides. Otherwise, you know, if they will not understand what it is, they will just ban it all the way. And that would be the best scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got 3 questions from the chat. One of them is, do you see IBM potentially entering game with investments in the future? I know you kind of said that it was a little early on, so I'm sure answer won't change much.
Yeah, I mean, so far, no, I don't see them entering it with investment because, like, first of all, it's not their field. Okay, where we are talking about game as a cryptocurrency, well, they're not doing it in general because, I mean, why? It's a totally different type of company. They're not a hedge fund. They're not even an investment company. They have they do buy out some companies like startups, technological and so on. But we are not targeting to sell our company at any moment at all because we have a totally different focus. And for them, it shouldn't be interesting, I believe, in general. So we are trying to work together, not trying to take money from them or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I thought that's a good answer too. The next one is a basic game credits question, and it says, is there a limit to how many game developers that can work? Is there a limit to the amount of game developers game can have on their platform, or the game credits plans to work with?
No, I mean, exactly from the very beginning, when we were developing the platform itself, even before we like stepped into the crypto industry, we wanted to build something that would be able to support as much merchants, or in these games, game developers, as it's only possible, and to be able to provide them as many payment methods as possible, and to be able to support as many end users as possible. So to create a solution that will be really, really fast, really capable of doing things that we ourselves are facing like a problem, because you're like, okay, we need to go through a very long, I don't know, onboarding process. The integration is complicated. The technical specs are not always satisfying our needs, and so on and so on. So I mean, we are still working on that. We are still trying to make it better, and we will always be trying to make it better. That's our main focus. Because one thing is what we've put there as a design. Another thing is what will actually happen when we push to production, and when we have 10 game developers, 100 game developers, 10,000 game developers. All of it will be different, and we will have to adjust the platform to fit their needs in the first place. And that's what we will be doing. We will try to be as responsive and as open as possible to create product for our clients, and basically in this case for game developers, not for ourselves. Because again, we will never try to sell this company. We will always try to be as good for people using this platform as good as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so the next question. is the GameCredits team actively focusing on getting more miners to mine game credits to secure the network? Or does Game have a different approach to this in the sense that miners will follow when GameCredits develops?
I believe it's both. We are right now. I believe we're not that focused on miners because okay, we have a little bit of another things to do right now. So we are open, of course, to this matter. But again, we are working right now even on some tools that will make mining much easier, much simpler. Because again, all the products we are creating here internally, no matter if it's for our internal use or if it's a part of a future platform in general, the future ecosystem of game credits, because we see it as an ecosystem rather than a single product. We are trying to make all of them as user-friendly as possible, as simple as possible. I entered in general like crypto like half a year ago. I tried to mine, to be perfectly honest. I failed so hard. It's like, okay, okay.
Me too. I've been here for a year and a half. I can't do it.
It's like it looks like these people are actually trying to stop you from doing this. So we are trying to work our way out of that, like make it user friendly, make it more friendly in some cases. Okay, because it's one of the main things there. Let's say to be able to mine. Many people would like to mine, I believe, at some point. We're also trying to, since we're trying to promote in general, like blockchain and cryptocurrencies and all this ecosystem, we will try, of course, to introduce the whole mining idea and the concept to our regular users, our gamers. They're not developers, they will never touch this, okay? So we need to simplify this process as much as possible to be able to attract as many people as possible. Because if we will be trying only to switch existing miners from other networks to other, come on, it's a limited pool. We need to introduce new people to this concept, and that's why we need to make it simple.
So we've got a lot of questions right now about, man, we've got a lot of good questions. All right, I'm going to go back and answer Jerome's question, but I see a question that I want to answer really quick from Novasoft Games. So they say, hey guys, great stuff. One concrete question. We are game devs. We're definitely interested in putting our games on your store. What's the first step? So Novasoft Games, GameCredits actually is a really easy platform for allowing game developers to put their games on our store. If any of your games are listed on Google Play, our system will take the APK file from Google Play, since it's already vetted. We'll run it through our system, and then once we've run it through our system, we'll take all the information from Google Play and retract it and put it on the game store. This process for us is we've tested it so far, and so far we can manage to get a game listed in just 10 minutes. So by using Google Play to our advantage, we can actually make the process really easy for game developers that are listed there. But that being said, and Alex can correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't have an app on Google Play, you can still upload your APK file and it will go through a normal vetting process. Right, Alex?
Yeah, that's correct. Basically, again, as I said before, we're trying to simplify all things along the way as much as possible, and that also comes to our mobile platform, because, again, we are also game developers ourselves, and we've been facing this issue when you have to integrate with another like third-party store or any solution, and you have to integrate like a bunch of SDKs, and then they have their own unpredictable behavior and whatever. So that's why we've been working on this platform for so long, because we wanted to make it extremely simple. Like really, you take the same APK file that you already have on Google, or like zero change is required. You don't need any development power there. And you just upload this APK file. You let our scripts drag it directly from Google. It can drag also screenshots, like description, whatever. That's it. You just need basically to verify that you are the developer of this game. That's the end of story. Because otherwise, nobody will go to this platform. No. I mean, I wouldn't go as a developer. I had this pain for so many times. You need to integrate something into a product and then look, it's like if you are lucky, it will take 3-4 days, but on average, it's almost never any process. So yeah, and also of course, if your game is not on Google Play, you still will be able to integrate it with our solution. Just in this case, you will need most probably to integrate Google's existing SDK and stuff, because we are basically using their solution, like from the inside of the APK. But again, Google's is like one of the best out there. It has a lot of documentation. It has a lot of discussions on like secular flow, whatever. So this is the easiest one to integrate. And then you just throw in the APK into our platform and you're done.
Perfect. That I think that should answer his question. So there's this one question that I wanted to get back to. And that is, will the GameCredits Block Explorer soon have the transparent function to view all of GameCredits addresses?
Well, I believe so. I don't know, we'll be doing this particular part because we have a Block Explorer right now, but we are not so happy about it because it's exactly one of those open source projects that were out there. And okay, we are working on our own right now. We will throw our first version maybe next week, and we will use it for our own needs, and we also will open source it. And after that, we will be like gradually improving it also for our own needs, for needs of our community. And basically, since it will be like open source, we do hope that other developers will also like, join and put a little bit of an effort into it to make like, the good one, really good one that will be always up to date, compatible with different types of chains maybe, and, really good and open source solution that everybody will be able to use and will be happy to use, because it will be like, simple to put out there on any website and have all information about blockchain.
So actually, this guy Novasoft Games kind of raises a question that I'm going to ask really quick. Since he's a game developer and he's not, we have our set list of game developers that are going to launch in the game store this spring. Can he reach out to GameCredits, maybe show that he's a game developer and potentially launch when the game store launches?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can just shoot an email to our contact@gamecredits.com, and I will forward this one to our team who is taking care of the mobile platform itself, and you will be basically able to integrate with the initial version of the, let's say, platform in general. So you'll see how this flow goes, and actually it will be very helpful for us because we are at this stage where we would love to see as much feedback from the actual developers as possible regarding the onboarding process in general, about the interfaces, about like whatever you see there. So yeah, that would be lovely.
Perfect. I think that's very, very helpful. And I actually would love to see Novasoft be able to get his games on the App Store. That'd be super cool. So the next question that we got was, will a feature be available for gamers to mine game using their graphics card? I know you said you want to make the mining process easier, but I think that's just taking your question or your answer and asking if that will be the simplified feature.
Well, basically, yes, because our major audience is gamers. And yeah, we need to introduce some solution for them that will be very easy to use and that will allow them to use their game credits after that in a very convenient way. And so on. So like, exactly, it's like a part of an ecosystem. Mining is one of the products that we will deliver.
Perfect. Perfect. So I just asked for any more questions, but we've got one more right now in the chat, which is game open to integrating the system with PC games? And I know you can answer that.
Well, of course, it's one of the future steps, because again, we need to like go gradually from one thing to another. Right now, we are launching the mobile store because mobile is huge. It's bigger than PC gaming at the moment. So we have to tackle this part, especially because we already have a platform that allows distribution of mobile games that has this easy onboarding process, and many other benefits that we're still working on, like tournaments and social parts, and so on, many features. But of course, we will gradually also get into the PC gaming part. So basically, one of the reasons is because these gamers, they do have their additional interest in game credits and cryptocurrencies in general, because they have these powerful machines and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that, we're kind of out of chat questions, but those are really good, so we can go back to the list of questions we've got. So one of the questions is, we just got one. How does Game plan to navigate to mobile platforms TOS like Apple and Android? So I think, I guess terms of service, maybe that's what that means. So how does Google,
I mean, we have our own terms of service.
But Game Store will be, you'll be able to access the Game Store from Google Play, correct?
No.
No?
No, I mean, look, of course, Google will never allow this one.
Yeah, right.
Because, their policy is for them to be the store, not for other stores to be in their store.
All right, that makes more sense.
Promote these stores separately, and that's one of the reasons we are launching this whole ICO thing, right? Because we need to promote the platform to gamers.
Right, of course. And I think that kind of goes on to another question that I was trying to hopefully lead to, and it did. But how will the funds be used for promoting? So I know that John has been talking to me a lot about different Facebook targeting ads, using data analytics to find gamers that are out there that might be interested in this, and then kind of building up from the ground to try and get people to come to the GameCredits platform without having to, without feeling too alienated from the store not being available on the game platforms like Google and Apple.
Yeah, exactly. In the white paper itself, there are certain numbers about cost of acquisition for different countries and different markets, let's say. Basically, let's say the most basic level of promotion of the store and attracting user is basically all this traffic management. Because we do have you have to bring users there, right? No matter how good our solution is, and that's equally true for any market and any product that you build right now, nowadays. No matter how good it is, you have to drive a lot of users into your product. You have people to use it, and this market, any market basically, is really overcrowded, and there is a lot of noise around. So you do have to build it on a very, very solid basis, and I mean financially. So you do have to acquire a lot of users from the very beginning if you want to be noticed. And of course, we will run some initial tests on limited budget in order to improve our funnels, to improve the performance, to improve the conversions of users coming to this platform. After that, we will have to go very aggressively. I mean, there were, for example, assumptions that we will, for example, try to, I don't know, purchase Super Bowl ads, video spot, where that's also a good thing, but that's something like brand awareness that comes after you already have a very solid presence everywhere around. When you're you're using this to actually lower the cost of the acquisition, because people are already familiar with the brand in general, and they're more likely to click something on the internet. But it's not like you launch your ads on the Super Bowl and then people start organically coming to your platform, to your product, to your game, no matter what. Of course, it does happen, but it doesn't have that much an effect than actually decrease of the price of the install and so on. So it's like a huge topic about all in general marketing and all these traffic manipulations and everything around it. But that's one of the things that we do have experience with, and that's just how it works. You have to deal with it in the first place, because that's the marketing of our days. We are not actually all the time focused on the brand or how do you communicate with the user, but you have to know how to work with the specific traffic sources in order to get the audience that you need in the places where this audience exists, and it's not, too expensive. I mean, not too expensive in terms that it will never return the investment you put into that. So that's like the basis, and this is a fundamental thing for our promotional activity and to our marketing activity. But of course, over that we will be also building our presence, like medias and everywhere that we need to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So this kind of leads, or there's another question in the chat, which I think is kind of important to make sure people understand. And that question is there a beta testing phase for games newly integrated with game credits? If so, will game credits be responsible for that, or will the game dev? So the games that are integrated on the mobile store, those will be existing games more than likely, correct?
Yes, for sure. I mean, 99% of them will be existing games. On the other hand, after we do move forward with the development of the platform and with the popularity of the platform, we do strongly believe that there will be people, I mean developers, who will be willing to launch their games on game credits first. And in this case, we will provide our supporters an opportunity to be the first ones to test these games. Of course, in this case, it's primarily it's like a developer's responsibility to provide the good experience to the user and so on. But again, most probably, if it's like beta testing, it will be a very limited one. I mean, there will be no be.
Oh no, he
But again,
froze.
yeah, the thing is that we are introducing in this whole store, in this whole platform, some new concepts. For example, this tournaments system, which it's not like new, but it's something that doesn't actually exist in other mobile platforms. And that's something that developers will have to work on together with us. And this is the part which will most probably be first presented on our platform. That's what our users will be able to get first access to. And that's one of the benefits, for example, for MobileGo token holders, because they will be the ones who will have like first hands-on experience with such kind of system, which just doesn't exist anywhere else. Of course, that will also include certain efforts from our side and from developer side, because there are a few games that support like very strong simultaneous synchronous PvP experience, like Clash Royale, for example. But most of them don't rely on that because connectivity issues, whatever issues, and building in general, like
Another cut. Sorry, guys.
activities, it's very complicated and it's very costly. It's extremely expensive. So we will support most probably for most of the developers. We will offer them, recommend them to create asynchronous competitions, asynchronous championships, whatever, tournaments, where their users will be able to compete like in the given time frame, let's say of 1 day, 2 days, but they will not have to actually interact with each other in the game itself. But they will have like a leaderboard, for example, that is only existing for these 2 days, and those people who are in top 10 get some prizes. Something
perfect. So the next question actually kind of leads really well again. So this one is, if you have time, please give a few sentences about MobileGo tokens and the possibilities and key features. So everyone, actually, MobileGo, what Alex was just saying, the beta testing feature, it's actually going to be part of MobileGo in the sense that MobileGo holders will have VIP access to certain selective beta testing, and then also VIP access to some tournaments, or they can join the tournaments beforehand if the tournaments fill up with too many people. There'll be opportunities like this. And it's also important to recognize that MobileGo will be used for decentralized systems apart from the Game Credit Store. So the Game Credit Store will have that only uses game credits. The parts will be buying games only on game credits, purchasing in-game items only on game credits, and tournaments. These tournaments that Alex was just talking about are going to be hosted by Game Credits, our system, and those will only run on game credits. MobileGo users might have access through gamification if they have like a large amount of MobileGo in their profile. Like in their profile, it might say you have 10,000 MobileGo. You might have access to some game credit store features because of the coins that you hold. At the same time, there will be a different part of the store which will have a virtual item marketplace, so people can trade swords and other cards and whatever from person to person. And this will only be possible on MobileGo through the use of smart contracts. And then there will also be decentralized player-run tournaments, again on smart contracts. If you hold MobileGo, you can then hold a tournament yourself. And whoever wins can get, using a smart contract, can automatically get the MobileGo that you allocated to the winner, if that makes sense. Again, this is a technology that isn't possible on game credits, but we don't think that's taking away from game credits at all, because these features weren't available and wouldn't be available if we didn't create a new token like MobileGo. And so by creating it, they don't compete necessarily with the game credits tokens. Instead, they offer a bigger marketplace on the game credit store. People who couldn't, who wouldn't be able to do this anywhere else, to be able to have their own run tournaments that they can allocate funds to, can come to MobileGo and host it, or come to the MobileGo, which is inside of the game credit store, and host it there. And so these are the kind of features that MobileGo will be used for. And again, we think it's going to greatly expand the use cases of the game credit store. And then ultimately make more people buy in-game items using game credits, and then they can trade them using MobileGo. So all in all, there's a lot of features that MobileGo offers, and it will be, and I know Alex could talk about this as well, but the MobileGo tokens will have a great effect on game credits as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will just add really a few things here, because you described everything very well. When we started to think about the MobileGo in general and the platform, because like I said, there is very much need of funds that will be able to support our promotional and marketing activities. But our first goal was to protect game credits investors.
Yeah.
Because in this way, like if we will try to stick with the game credits itself, that will not give us any opportunity to invest more into the marketing activities. All right, it's probably like I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen much of ICOs through my life, but I don't think there are too many of them that we're targeting on marketing in general. And our goal here is quite complicated, because we have to not promote just the platform itself or just the games inside the platform itself, but we have to promote entire concept of different type of mobile store, which is based, in the end of the day, on cryptocurrencies. So
Yeah.
we're basically trying to promote the whole system of cryptocurrencies to the most casual audience out there, to the gamers. Yeah. But again, our very, very important goal was not to hurt game credits in any possible way. So that's why we created our strategy exactly like that. Game credits is our payment solution in the first place. It's a platform that empowers all aspects of our activity. It basically is like central point of all the products that we are working on, that we will be further developing, like mobile platform and PC platform and other things that we are also working on right now, but we are not ready to disclose them yet. Still, all of them are in this or other way connected with payments, and cryptocurrencies is like the very, very best tool right now you can have for payments. So that's why game credits is in the center of all these things. It's like our core, our most important part. But other parts need to have some features that game credits cannot provide, or shouldn't be providing even logically. Right? So for example, that's why we have MobileGo token for MobileGo platform, for game credit store. That's the concept.
Absolutely. And so another just thing I'd like to add on that before going to our next MobileGo related question is just that, so people are going to be profiting from investing in MobileGo. And the reason they're going to be profiting is because we will be using half the funds to get players onto the game store. As we have dedicated user base on the game store, we will likely have this user base even before we start MobileGo. So this player base, when we launch MobileGo on the game store, will be there. We'll have this platform, these people already using game store, and then they can try out MobileGo. And the whole idea is that this decentralized game system could quite frankly be, or this decentralized system, the virtual marketplace tournament, peer-to-peer match play, could grow immensely and be huge and be one of the largest types of systems out there. I mean, the virtual item marketplace is $1 billion market. Someone sold a house or a world or like a casino or something, a virtual casino for $600,000. And it wasn't a casino raising money. It was just this place in a game. And so the point is that all of this could be done with MobileGo. And it's a fairly big investment opportunity in itself, because when MobileGo formally launches, we will have a user base. And this is, again, I just want to reiterate this for our community so they can get a better understanding. But the next question is, when is the fund for tokens, and any hints about the price and the discounts for game holders? So there will be discounts for game holders. As of right now, we haven't come up with an official number, but there's a number around 10 to 15% that's being thrown around. But again, this is subject to change. It's tentative, but there will definitely 100% be discounts for game holders. And about the hints on the price is going to be determined by the amount that people put into it, the amount of funds that we raise. There have been several platforms that have done it this way. We talked a lot with the Waves team. We've gotten a lot of big guidance from the Waves team, which is the third largest ICO of all time. They raised $60 million. So Sasha and a bunch of the people on that team have given us recommendations, and through that we have decided to have the fund or have the price of MobileGo be determined by the amount that we raise. And we'll have more on this in the future, 100%. Sorry, I don't mean to talk so long. I know people want to be hearing from Alex, our COO. And so one of the other questions we got is MobileGo an Ethereum token? This kind of goes back to what I just said. Ethereum, it's actually a dual blockchain. I don't know who is the genius deciding this. If it was Alex, you're a genius. That idea is brilliant. It's going to be a Waves and an Ethereum blockchain. So meaning we have the smart contract capability of Ethereum, and we also have the exchange between tokens and tokens ability, a really good user interface, and a universal Chrome wallet that Waves offers. And at the same time, we're going to have blockchain redundancy. So if there's ever a problem on one of the blockchains, we have another up and running blockchain for maximum redundancy on the platform. So I answered that. I'm going to find a question that Alex can answer. Oh, so what can MobileGo token holders do in the mobile store? So Alex, could you talk a little bit about like gamification and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, in general, we're trying to offer at least several benefits to the MobileGo token holders, because MobileGo will be like gamification and social currency that will be used in the store itself. So basically, what I'm trying to say that first of all, you will have certain discounts because with this MobileGo tokens, you will get like coupon codes, for example, that you can use on the platform. Of course, you will have like better access, let's say, to the tournaments and other activities, and also because we'll be basing a lot of meta game activities on the MobileGo token. Like you can have your own character that is like your avatar for the whole platform, for example, that represents yourself. in user-to-user interaction, and you can customize it and you can build upon it. So basically, MobileGo token holders will have access to a wide range of additional features and many features that will be only accessible for the users, like regular users who come to the platform after the launch. They will be able to like buy for money, but MobileGo users will have it like either for free or with discount. Different aspects. We are still trying to invent even more ways for our investors to benefit from the platform in general. But what I believe is the most important thing that we will be doing our best. I mean, we have all the tools for that, and they're all described in the white paper itself to basically increase the price and the value of the token itself, so that our investor will be able to directly benefit from the investments. All right, ROI is like the most important things from my perspective. For example, like right when you invest in something, you want to get profit, and we want to generate this profit for our investors in the first place. And of course, it would be extremely lovely if people who are actually invested in the ICO and the platform will become like heavy users of the platform itself. That would be like, like a miracle for me, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see it.
It's good. Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. I've been thinking a lot about how Steam has their Steam It, and I know a lot of really powerful people in the Steam community use Steam It a lot, and I think that we have the opportunity to do it even better in the gaming world. I think we can offer so much more, even though I think that they do a good job over there. I'm excited because, frankly, if a MobileGo investor can go play games and have use the gamification system we have in place for MobileGo, that'll be really cool.
Exactly.
And so we have two questions. I don't want to forget. Someone asked, how long before Apple games get added? I know at the moment you will have Google games. Apple games will almost never be added, correct?
Oh, that's technologically very complicated thing because, for example, that's one of the reasons we distribute our own games for the first time, like when we send it out to partners and publishers, let's say, or to the companies that want to promote our games in different regions which are not that easily accessible, for example, like China, right? We never send them APK. We send them access to the test flight, which is Apple-based, because in this system, Apple system, is so closed that there is almost no way to get anything from the game before you allow people to do so. While Google's platform Android is much more open, so that allows also to install like third-party applications. Basically, you need to allow that, okay, as a user, but still it's possible. That's what is important. Also, actually, Google is now experimenting and is going even further into being an open platform. For example, they have rolled out a Chrome feature for mobile where you can basically install a web page. So you go to some web page, and if there is a button for that, you can install, and it will have an icon on your desktop, let's say, on a home screen, and you can use it as an application, which is amazing because in this way, basically, they open ecosystem to all the applications that couldn't get into the store for various reasons, like for example, GameCredits store. Okay, but from now, people will be actually able to go to our page on the internet, to go to GameCreditsStore.com, for example, MobileGo, and so on, and they will be able to install it as an application and use it to download other games and to use this gamification, to use this tournament system, and so on. Now, so basically, Google is becoming more and more open. I believe that it's a question of time that Apple will follow. Okay, because it's like competition of giant corporations, and if Apple doesn't chase and doesn't go in the same direction, they will be just lost.
Oh yeah.
But it might take time for sure. So right now, I wouldn't bet on anything. So far, we will be only working with Android platform, but we'll see. I believe there is a good perspective that in next year or two, we will see Apple much more open. And in this case, of course, we'll be able also to bring GameCredits Store to the iOS platform.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you look at Apple, they were the super giant in mobile applications to begin with. I remember everyone was using, like, the App Store was so much better than Google Play. And now everyone is beginning to develop on Google Play because it has, 80% of the market or something ridiculous because of Android.
Yeah.
So I think you got to be right. If Apple doesn't follow up, they're gonna lose quickly. And so the next question, there's actually two good questions. What fraud system will be in place? Will MobileGo have its own wallet system? Like, is it only going to be available in the store?
Well, as for fraud protection, that's a tricky question. I mean, I cannot disclose even everything that we are doing right now to prevent this, but in the first place, we're working with the acquirers because they are the first, uh, let's say, the first step that users go through and the money go through. Okay, so most of actual verification and fraud protection occurs on their side. We will, of course, also not try, we will protect developers and users from fraud because, look, okay, developers do suffer from fraud. That's not a question. Most of them do face chargeback or fraud all the time. But who actually suffers most from this are the users because in this case they fall into unfair competition. And that's the biggest problem, especially when we are talking about introducing tournament systems and so on. Because, okay, you can compete with a player if the game allows someone to, for example, pay some amount of money and benefit from that and have like a faster development speed of their character in the game or something like this. That's one thing. But when somebody is actually cheating, that's a whole different story. That what should be never allowed. That's what we are actually trying to fight. Not losing profits on the developer side, but fair play the games in the first place. So we'll be working very close with the acquirers, with the different payment gateways that we are using. We will be trying to combine different sources of information and payments to get as much of a reliable and payments and much of reliable information in order to protect our users in the first place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is actually a very interesting question that kind of goes off. The same person just asked, a lot of users will be kids and will be essentially dealing with real money. Will there be parental controls like on other mobile stores?
Yeah, of course, sooner or later we will introduce this feature as well. Although we believe that for the beginning, let's say the first stage when we will just launch a store, most of the users will be coming, from a very focused sources that will exclude kids and so on. But after that, of course, we will introduce the parental control system and we will try to protect kids as much as possible because it's a very sensitive question when it comes to the money. They shouldn't be able to, just randomly spend tons of them. Of course, we'll be using best practices in this field in our store as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, wow, we actually got through a lot of. I'm going to ask open. Anyone else have any questions? We've gone through about 15 or so far. And if you guys have any other ones, please let us know in the next couple minutes so that we can answer any final ones. I think I don't know, how much longer are you willing to stay on, Alex?
Another 20 minutes for sure I can do it.
Okay, another 20 minutes. So we'll plan on that. I guess if in that case, I'll open it up to a question just for myself because I think it's a good point to lead on. What do you look for, or what are you most excited about for the GameCredits store? Like, what excites you the most about this opportunity?
A lot of things actually. First of all, I believe we have a very good chance to enter the market, which is like, very heavily monopolized, but by few huge companies. We are small for now, right? And that actually makes us very agile, very flexible in terms of what we are doing and how we're providing our services to developers and to the users. We are trying to use benefits of this. We are trying to use benefits of the cryptocurrency and the smart contract system and the blockchain in general.
Mhm.
That's something they will. It will take them years to catch up with what we are doing right now. That gives us a lot of benefits, and we will share these benefits basically with our audience. That's what definitely makes me excited, and also the whole gamification system for sure, and the tournament system, because there is a very specific thing about exactly mobile games. Okay, the life cycle of a single user in a single mobile game, on average, is not very big. If we are not talking, of course, about like MMORPGs or something like this, which started to emerge on mobile devices as well lately, but they're like single and unique examples of games that can actually hold on a person for more than like 2-3 months. But since
Mhm.
we're platform, and for us, it's most important to keep the player within the platform, so he will be willing to try as many games as possible, and not just like, okay, I'm done with this game and I'm gone. I'm not existing anymore with you as a user. We need to provide him the content inside the platform itself that will keep him there and that will keep him moving from one game to another when he gets bored from a particular title. That's what is interesting, and that's what is challenging, and that's where I believe gamification, socialization, and tournament system go along very well. Because exactly, like from my perspective, I'm quite into like PvP stuff, challenges stuff, and so on. And I would love to see something which is like going beyond regular achievement system. Let's say in the games where I can actually challenge other people, I can compete with them. Doesn't matter if it's even a real price, at least for me, but few additional credits on the platform would be nice so I can stand up for another game and so on. So that's a system that I'm really looking forward, and I'm looking very closely at it. I'm working with the team of the platform itself in order to share my experience, share my vision on that. So we'll be trying to bring this one together as good as possible to exactly keep people with the platform in the first place.
Awesome answer. So I think we're going to go 3 more questions. So the first one is it worth putting effort into simplifying mining, since this is a script coin, and mining with 1 to 2 cards, most likely gamers won't have more than 1 to 2 cards, is not profitable at this stage of difficulty. So why would we make it easier for gamers to mine if it's going to be so hard?
Well, look, I believe, first of all, we can still, even if it's not cost efficient on like a larger scale, it still might be quite interesting for a player, for a gamer, to receive few additional bucks per month from just leaving this PC running, because let's be honest, most of them have it right up and running anytime. I mean, all the time anyway already. If they can have a little bit of a benefit from that, I believe that would be amazing, because they can get like one free game. Why
Yeah.
not? That's the whole idea. They don't go that deep. They're not calculating in most cases, this economical difference like between the energy that you have spent and the outcomes that you gain. But actually, like, okay, you convert your electricity into some money, and actually not even into money, into the games. I mean, it's a cool thing to have. That's it.
I think so too.
I mean, of course, exactly, because we are looking at it from the perspective of like, having calculated, okay, I spent $100 on electricity, and my actual profit from mine was $90, so it's not economically efficient. Okay, come on, we're talking here about casual users. They will not be going this deep, and they're not looking into $1,000 spent on that per month,
Yeah.
like the regular miners do. Okay, for them, what's important is like a chance to get one free game. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I would have said. So our second to last question is the store purely for games, or will other apps be allowed on the store as well?
Well, we are not thinking to prohibit anyone from installing the applications, I mean, from distributing applications through our platform. But our major focus is games, and since we will be introducing a lot of gamification features to the platform itself and the tournament system, I mean, it's hard to imagine that email application will benefit from it somehow, really.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can if you can like gamify email. I mean, of course you can, but well, it's all different level. It's on the very product level. It's not something that platform can deal with. So I would say games are our major focus, and
Yeah.
game developers will get most of the benefits from working with us because we are focused on that. Anyway, if other developers will want to put their application there, okay, we are good with that. We are not prohibiting anyone. The thing is, we cannot provide that much of a support for them as we can do for the game developers.
I 100% agree. There's a bunch of statistics out there, but I think 80% of all profits in mobile stores come from games, and 20%
Yeah.
come from other applications. So,
Yeah, I mean, because there is like actually a backside of this story because most of the applications that are not games are using their own payment system. That's why their actual profits cannot be that well tracked. For example, like Uber. I mean, come on, Uber has a huge turnover, but it's not tracked by Google or Apple because they're using a third-party payment system which they're allowed to use. That's it.
mhm.
So it's not a fair statistics, but yes, in any case, game produce most, I believe, anyway, most of the profits. But again, I'm not even talking about profit here. I'm talking mostly about what we as a platform can do for game developers and for platform users. That's what's the most important here. Again,
Absolutely.
developers benefit.
Absolutely. I think that's perfect. So one last question, and then we're going to go get on to a question Nelly wants us to talk about, which is the first question is when the launch of MobileGo and the launch of GameCredits Store, when can MobileGo start helping GameCredits? So just so the user knows, MobileGo, the fund, the marketing fund, 50% of all MobileGo fund will go directly to marketing the GameCredits Store. That will immediately be helping GameCredits. The other thing, if you check out our roadmap on our white paper, highly recommend everyone read our white paper. But the roadmap, MobileGo will start being developed and implemented over the summer in small increments. It's one step at a time. But it will start helping over the summer. We're going to start expanding the GameCredits Store platform with MobileGo opportunities as soon as possible. And Alex, if you have anything to add.
I believe that's the case.
Perfect. And so Nelly wants you to say something about when we can expect the API and two-factor authentication, and maybe explain. I know you talked about API in the beginning, but
Yeah. I mean, again, API is something we are right now almost done with. There are some things that we need to polish in order to, be more open, I would say, more easy to understand. So that actually includes a lot of work on the documentation level. That's why it's like a little bit postponed. And of course, that involves like a lot of testing because, like, when we talk about the numbers again, even coming back to this number of users that we can support, number of transactions that we can run, like I said, we have, according to the latest test, something around 70,000 per second. Well, for example, Visa, as far as I know, okay, that's my knowledge. I don't want to sound like Trump, but I seem to do. Anyway, from my knowledge, Visa supports 65,000 transactions per second. So that's already something we have a lot of effort in. So, but we need to polish all the APIs properly because, again, like I said, our own experience so far with integrations, partnerships, payment providers has been quite painful, and we want to be better than those people, those companies and those products that made us start the whole story. So, okay, we need some more time for that, but that's because we're trying to provide the best product possible. When it comes to two-factor authentication, that's something that has to do with the bureaucracy. Because in order to like put your application, for example, into the mobile store, and that's what we want to do. We want to have a proprietary, let's say, two-factor authentication that will exist inside of our application, which will act like a wallet, basically. So you will be able to track what you have in your wallet, track the exchange rates, and so on. So we wanted to do it in the form of mobile application. Inside of this application, you will have 2FA, like for example, Steam has. Okay, because that's again convenient way for our core audience, which is gamers. Okay, so in this case, we have to undergo quite complicated bureaucratic process, which involves like obtaining some specific numbers, going through the Apple developer submission as a company, and so on and so on and so on. So that's like a lot of steps, a lot of paperwork, which we have to go through. But once it's finished, which should be like next week, they will supposed to provide us all this like confirmations around like Tuesday or Wednesday. Then we will be able to basically finalize registration of our developer accounts everywhere and upload the application, test it, and then launch it into the market. And that's the moment when the 2FA will become available.
Awesome. That perfect. Yeah, that's a big deal. Thank you so much. So I know you said you had like till 11:30 me, 5:30 you. So 12 more minutes is all we'll take from you. Will the game store have multiple different coin payments down the road? Like, say we can use Bitcoin to transfer into my MobileGo wallet and turn it into game. That's a possibility using Waves, right? To be able to exchange one coin for another. Do you know anything about that?
Well, that's pretty much correct. I mean, GameCredits will be like the unified payment processor for the store in the first place. That will be the underlying technology, the core system for accepting payments. But you will be able to like top up your wallet inside the store, right, with the different methods, including fiat in the first place, because that's what most of the gamers will do. And we will, of course, allow crypto community to use their favorite coins as well. But also, in this scenario, our main goal, one of the goals, is to introduce gamers to cryptocurrencies, and that will happen through GameCredits. So, for example, a gamer comes to the platform, downloads the game, and makes an in-app purchase through the platform, through GameCredits payment processing, and then we basically give him like a change, let's say. Okay, so we tell him, okay, now you have this wallet, your GameCredits wallet, and you have like some small amount of GameCredits left. That's like a compliment from the game developer to buy another game, to start trading maybe, to invest, and to learn what is cryptocurrency. Because from what I know about gamers in general, they're not interested in different things until you give them something, for free, until you introduce it to them in a very explicit manner. What we want to do using the MobileGo and the platform in general.
Perfect. That is the end of all of our questions, actually. I thought we were going to get another one, but yeah, that was everything so far. I feel like we've covered a lot. If anyone has any rushed, they can't wait questions, feel free to ask now. But if not, I think we can end here. This went even better than I expected, not to offend the community at all, but I just, I think this went really well. We answered a lot of questions, and I think this Hello?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
All right, yeah. Anyway, so thank you so much, Alex. This was awesome. Maybe again in the future we can do something
Definitely.
something like this. Okay, actually, one final question. What's your price prediction for GameCredits in the future?
Well, I don't know. Look, guys, I'm not a trader. Yeah, I'm really for the last years I've been dealing strictly with business needs and development needs and all this stuff. So for me, trading is something that is like, really out of my field. I cannot make any predictions. My goal and my main focus here is to make GameCredits as a solution, as a product, as a whole ecosystem as good as it can only be. And well, from this point of view, I can only say that I believe that it will affect GameCredits price very positively, because what we are doing is probably very different from what's been done in this area, like, from both sides. I don't know such a project in crypto in general, and I don't know any store or other platform that is providing that range of opportunities to developers and to the users. So I believe our project is great. I believe what we are doing is extremely interesting and has great potential. How it will affect the price, that's what our community and the traders in general decide. I'm here to deliver the product.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. No, that's it, Alex. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack.
Everyone who made it through the whole way, thank you for staying with us. And we'll be back to the normal business, answering questions, doing whatever we can for you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.